left the previous class and you joined Lisa's class?
Hi, everybody.
It's magic.
I
Yeah, it's magic.
But pardon me, but in the previous class, your cell phone was ringing or something.
It wasn't me. It wasn't.
Yeah, no, it
I
was
swear
you.
it wasn't me. My phone is so quiet today.
Hi, everybody. Hey,
Hi,
let me welcome it. Let me welcome everybody
Okay,
to
okay.
this next
You're all
hour
total silence. Okay.
of Verbling English class. Aisha and Nihan are joining, continuing on the night of English learning. So welcome to them. And if anybody else wants to join us in this hour, we're going to be reading an article about the latest movie with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney called Gravity. And it's not a movie review. It's a little bit from like the business aspect of the movies, but we can also use that as a starting off place to talk about the movie or the actors, the actresses, and anything we feel like it. So, how are you guys doing? Nihan?
Okay.
Yeah?
Sorry, Lisa. But it was really interesting.
What?
We were in the same class with Arshu, and her cell phone was ringing.
Yeah.
I just left the class and say goodbye. Have a good
Yeah,
night.
I
Blah
swear
blah.
it was on my phone.
But when I saw your class with Lisa,
Yes.
and Lisa and Archu in the same class. Oh my gosh, I'm surprised.
So
She was really fast.
yeah, it's magic.
Even her cell phone just still ringing.
Listen carefully. You will see that it was on my phone. I told
Yeah.
you he's so quiet today.
Okay, Archie. Okay, yeah, I got you.
And I don't want to let Lisa wait for me, so I move quickly.
Yeah, you guys are becoming expert navigators through the Verbling, Google Hangouts, YouTube, everything. You guys come on quick.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, Nihan, have you seen the movie Gravity yet on a torrent or something? Nihan?
I don't know, Lisa, because I watch lots of movies. Sometimes I was really confused about the plot, about the actresses, but I think it's a new movie, 2030 maybe.
Yeah, it's a brand new movie. I don't even know if it's come out yet. Have you heard about it, Aisha?
Yes, but I didn't see the movie yet, but I saw the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like a good movie.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's George Clooney, so.
Exactly.
George is kind of.
What? What is he kind of? What is your opinion of George Clooney, Nihan?
Clooney, I could say I was watching a movie. Then my mother just came in my room and asked,
Yeah.
"What's your favorite actor out of you, really?" And I searched a little bit on Google, and she said, "No, not that. He is short. He is fat. He is blah blah." And then when I pick up the George Clooney's photos,
Yeah.
she just said, and she's 63, by the way.
Yeah.
She just said, "Yes."
Oh, I love your mom.
because I showed her DiCaprio or the
Yeah.
leads or younger actors, and she didn't like all of them. And when it was really intimate, and yes, he is handsome.
Well, he's I could say, like, looking at this picture, I would say that he is very photogenic. It means he takes good pictures. Like, you know, it's like some people, they might be handsome or pretty, but you never quite get a good picture of them. But just looking up these images, there's a lot of good pictures of him. He's easy to photograph.
Yeah.
And I watched lots of George Clooney's movie, and I know he's not. Yes, he's attractive, whatever. But
whatever.
Perfect. I know. But his photos, yes.
Yeah.
His photos makes my mommy, yes.
Yeah. Well, who would you prefer besides George Clooney? Is there some other male actor that you think is more handsome? Nihan?
I don't know, but being attractive is a little bit different for me. Sometimes a little bit with eyes or with mimics or attitudes. I don't know. I found De Niro in Taxi Driver really attractive. I don't know. I found in the movie The Bad, the Good, and the Ugly, Clint Eastwood.
Oh,
really
okay. Yeah.
It depends.
Hi, Vivian.
You know.
Hi, Vivian. Welcome. You probably have to turn your microphone on. It might be muted. Right now we're just talking about George Clooney, basically. and Nihan's mom thinks he's very attractive.
No, she thinks he is really hot.
Really hot. He is really hot. The reason why we're talking about George Clooney is because he is in this movie that we're going to read about. And I just looked this up, and this looks kind of interesting. Maybe we'll have to read about this some other time. But he co-stars in this movie, Gravity, with Sandra Bullock. And this article is why he won't date her. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to go on to this reading. So, Vivian, welcome. Where are you from, Vivian? Vivian? Your microphone is not on. I can't hear you. No. Vivian? I see that you're talking, but I don't hear you. Look above your Verbling chat box, and there will be the microphone. If it's red, it's muted, and I can't hear you. If you click on it, then it goes back just to gray, and then I can hear you. See if that works. Or maybe turn up the volume, something like that.
Just join the girls talking.
Yeah, we're just girl talking right now. No guys in here. we don't have to talk about Sandra Bullock.
At all. At all.
Although I haven't seen a lot of her movies, but I did see The Heat, and I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see it?
Nope.
You didn't see it? Okay, you have to go see it.
Okay, I will.
Nihan, did you see that one? The Heat?
Yeah.
Did you think it was funny?
The sense of humor.
What?
The American sense of humor didn't really affect me.
That's definitely an American movie. If you want American humor, that's it. Vivian, is it working yet? No, I can't hear you.
Maybe share your screen and show her how to unmute herself.
Okay, let's see. Share my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, my screen, duh. Okay, here we are. My screen. If you go up here to above the Verbling, right there, if it's muted, it's red. If you click on it, and then you have to click off, and now you can hear me. If it's on, you won't be able to hear me. So, see if that works. If not, then you might want to try exiting and coming back in, because I don't know why it's not working otherwise. Yeah. Okay, shit. You understood. Good. Okay. All right, so shall we read?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so there are some other people looking at the article here, and you might want to just listen. If you want to join our class and read out loud and talk with us about George Clooney, then you can join the class by clicking on the Join Class button up above the Verbling video.
Think about Sandra Bullock.
We can talk about Sandra Bullock too, if you want.
Are you sure she's in the movie?
She is. I just watched the trailer.
I know, I'm kidding.
Freaky. Okay. All right. So this what?
Who is Sandra Bullock?
I didn't hear. Do you know Sandra Bullock?
No, I don't.
You don't? You should.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Lisa, come
Well,
on.
you're kind of a little bit hard to hear, Nihan. It's a little bit.
Yes,
Your
my
voice is low.
my headphones battery just died, and
Oh,
I have
okay.
to change the equipment. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. So Vivian knows Sandra Bullock. Okay, good. We're all on the same page then with Sandra Bullock. All right. So this is actually not a movie review. So it's not telling a lot about the movie per se. We can, you can watch the video. You can watch. You can read reviews. I put down a link to a Roger or Ebert movie review here, where it goes into more detail about what's good, what they like about it, more detail of the actual movie itself. But this one is, this article is taken from Forbes magazine, which is about business, so it's a little bit more from just a little perspective of Hollywood, and using this new movie, Gravity, as an example of trying to get people into theaters. So it has a lot of interesting vocabulary and things that we could talk about, and we can also just talk about movies once we're done, which I know Nihan likes. Yes.
So sorry to interrupt, but
yeah,
does
go ahead.
it work, my voice or my microphone?
Yeah, that's better. It's a little louder.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to read first, and then you guys can read, and I highlighted some words already that I'll go over, but if you have any other ones that you're not quite sure about, you can just ask me either by interrupting me using your microphone or by writing in the Verbling chat or the Google chat. Okay, so it's called Gravity Gives People a Reason to Buy a Movie Ticket. So Gravity is the name of the movie, and everybody knows what gravity is? Aisha, what's gravity? I don't know.
Hello?
Whoa!
Archu, yes. No excuse.
Do you know what gravity is?
Yes, but I can't explain.
In English? That's the challenge! Yeah. How do you say it in French? Probably just, what is it in French?
Are you sure we understand?
Yeah, gravity. It's what keeps you on the Earth so that you're not flying around in space.
Okay.
All right? Yeah, we all have the same understanding of gravity. So that's what the movie is called, because the movie is about being out in space where there is no gravity. It's not going to hold you back down to the Earth. You just can float around out there. So that's the name of the movie. Just want to make sure you guys know that.
It's a science fiction?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think so. It's about, well, we're going to learn a little bit. We'll read it here. All right.
Okay.
There aren't a lot of compelling reasons to go to the movies anymore. Tickets are expensive. If you have kids, you also have to pay for a babysitter. The theater-going experience often means dealing with rude people using their cell phones or chatting during the movie. And the home experience is better than ever. Movies are available soon after they've been in theaters, and you can watch them in HiDef on a big screen in the comfort of your own home. Excuse me, own home. Okay, Aisha, you want to read that?
Yes.
Okay.
There aren't a lot of compelling reasons to go to the movies anymore. Tickets are expensive. If you have kids, you also have to pay for a babysitter. The theater-going experience often means dealing with rude people using their cell phones or chatting during the movie. And the home experience is better than ever. Movies are available soon after they have been in theaters, and you can watch them in high def on a big screen in the comfort of your own home.
All right, there aren't a lot of compelling reasons to go to the movies anymore. Compelling, what, you guys know what that means? What could be another word for compelling?
To force or something?
Yeah, I know. I think I know what you're meaning. Like, if you compel somebody to do something, it's like it's not really forcing them, but it's like you're giving them a good reason to go. Yeah. Like, there aren't many real good reasons to go, you could say, or really a compelling story is something that is really amazing and really moves you and you really like it. So a compelling reason would be like a really good reason to go, because a lot of movies are kind of mediocre and they give you the reasons why. Why aren't they compelling? Because they can be expensive. In the United States, in my small town, to go to the movies at nighttime, it costs you $9. But in bigger cities, maybe like Seattle, I think it could cost maybe $10 or so to go to the movies. So, it's expensive. You have to get a babysitter. You have to deal with people. Those are some of the reasons why you wouldn't want to go. So there are reasons to not go. So you have to have a compelling reason in order to go, like a really good reason, something good, exciting, different that will be happening there. So dealing with rude people. Aisha, do you go to the movie theaters in Montreal very often?
Yes.
And do you have to deal with rude people?
Yes, in the way that they are chatting or using their phone. Yeah, sometimes.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At my movie theater, we have a small movie theater that has just 2 small theaters. And in the beginning of every movie, before the movie, they come out and they tell you a little bit about what the movie's going to be about. And then they remind everybody to turn off their cell phones, no talking, all that type of stuff. But in the bigger theaters, they don't do that. So people do whatever they want to do. Nihan, what about you? In Turkey, do you mostly watch movies at home, or do you go to the theater too, the movie theater?
If the movie worth to go to theater, yes, I just want to support the director and the whole project with a little bit, maybe with the $10 or something.
Yeah.
But if it's not really worth to. Actually, Lisa, in the theaters there are lots of worthless movies.
Yes. Yes,
There is
a lot.
lots of really deep movies or documentaries or art movies or something. But I just paid for Mr. Park, the Korean director, a few months ago, but there wasn't really a good movie to where to go to theater.
Yeah. What's your experience like with other people? Is it fun to go to the theater, or you don't really?
No, it wasn't fun because I always watch movies by myself. If I want to share with my friends or family, I can watch it twice. But when I discover a movie, I always prefer to watch it alone. Always.
Yeah.
And if something disturbs you, it could be really annoying. In the theaters, you couldn't manage to stop the people's rude behaviors, you know, their cell phones, their eating popcorns, their chatting with couples. If the movie is really good, sometimes it could be really annoying. But if it's nothing for you, it doesn't matter for me. Everyone can do everything. I'm not really disturbed that kind of outside things. But no, I don't want to watch any movie with someone, even if my boyfriend. I don't. Really?
Yeah. No, I know. I've had enough conversations with you about the movies. It seems like you really like the stories and you like to watch them and pay attention. And so if you're going to watch a good movie, especially, you want to have a real nice experience and not be interrupted. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Viviana, is it working now? Try talking.
Join us, Vienna.
Yeah, she says she has it. we want to hear your voice.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, if you want, you can also type in the Verbling chat if you want, but we still can't hear you. So I don't know what that problem is. Sorry about that. But yes.
Pardon me, Lisa. Maybe Viviana, you have to refresh your page.
Refresh the page?
Yeah, maybe it can work.
All right, well, she'll come back. Hopefully she can come back.
Really soon.
Yeah, come back soon. Okay, so I put it in the chat. So HiDef just means high definition. So nowadays, HD, TV, it's very good. So a lot of people can, in the United States anyways, you can go to, maybe you guys have heard of something called Costco. It's a huge box store that sells things at lower prices. Something, it's kind of like a Walmart or something. So if you go to these types of stores, Costco, Target, Walmart, these are stores that sell electronics pretty cheaply. So nowadays, people can get a pretty big TV that's really nice definition. That means how clear it is. And so, they can just sit at home and watch a movie, and it's comfortable. Whenever you say this is a phrase here, in the comfort of your own home. That's kind of like the whole phrase. It's used to describe, obviously, something that you prefer to do at your house because it's just more comfortable to be there than to be out somewhere else. Okay, Vivian, did that work?
Unmute yourself, Viviana.
Yeah, I think she knows how to unmute, so just check the microphone color again. If it's gray, we should be able to hear you. Also, you can tell because, like, if you see my little box, when I talk, you see the green line. But when you talk, we don't see a green line, and we don't hear anything.
Yes.
Okay, well, it's okay. You can still follow along and participate if you want.
No. I can mimic.
Yeah. It's okay to be in class still. Okay. All right, so the next paragraph says, This new dynamic is a problem for Hollywood. Okay, the new dynamic is what they're talking about, this idea that people don't really want to go to the theater that much because of those reasons above. So that's the dynamic. That's kind of like the thing that's happening, or the issue, or the problem, or something. This new dynamic is a problem for Hollywood. For better or worse, the industry still needs to figure out how to get butts in seats. That's a very direct way of saying it. Gotta get your butt in that seat for $9.
I love this phrase.
All right. For a while there, 3D was touted as the panacea for the theater blues. But plenty of people are opting out of 3D, flocking to 2D screenings instead to save money and avoid a headache. Okay, Nihan.
Lots of new vocabulary. This new dynamic is a problem for Hollywood. For better or worse, the industry still needs to figure out how to get butts in seats. For a while there, 3D was touted as the for the theater panacea.
Yeah.
As the panacea for the theater blues. But plenty of people are opting out of 3D, flocking to 2D screenings instead to save money and avoid a headache. I have to confess, I didn't understand the whole two sentences.
Okay, great. Good. So now we can learn something. All right, so we'll take it sentence by sentence. So this new dynamic is a problem for Hollywood. So they're just saying that this new scenario, this new thing that's happening with good TV screens and people wanting to be at home and not having to deal with rude people, that's new for Hollywood. Of course, people, in the beginning times with movies, that's the only place you could see a movie. There was no DVD, no VHS, no internet streaming, torrents, whatever. The only place to go see a movie was in the theater. Now is a completely different story. And so they say, the next sentence, for better or worse, so, well, maybe it's a better thing, maybe it's a worse thing, but whatever it is, the industry, so they're talking about here the movie industry, so that's a business, they still need to figure out how to get butts in seats. So they basically have to figure out, how do we get people to come and pay to watch a movie? Because remember, they have to spend tens of millions of dollars on these movies, and if nobody wants to actually pay for them, it's going to be hard to make money on movies.
Up until now, it was clear, but then it was...
Okay, now here we go. So for a while there, so you probably understand that part. So for a little while, what was happening was that 3D was touted as the panacea for the theater blues. All right. So another way to say this would be that 3D was touted. That means that people were saying, was said to be the cure-all. That's another way we could say this whole thing. So they were saying that 3D was touted. So they were saying, people were saying, oh yeah, 3D, that's going to make us money. Everybody's going to come to watch 3D. So that was going to cure. Panacea is also a cure-all. It's something that takes care of everything. So the 3D is going to take care of this for our business, and it's going to solve our problem. And do you know the blues, like blues music? When you have the blues, it means you're sad or something is not working for you. So they had the theater blues because they couldn't get people in the seats, and so they couldn't sell enough movie tickets, and so they tried to figure out how to, do that, and they thought 3D was going to be the answer. But plenty of people are opting out of 3D. That means a lot of people, plenty means a lot, they're opting out. That means they're choosing not to go watch 3D movies. When you opt out, like nowadays a popular way we use the word opt out is like an email list. If you're on an email list, you subscribed and then you want to get off that so you don't get any more emails from them, you have to opt out of the list. So opting out just means you make a choice not to receive something or not to go somewhere. So they were opting out of 3D because, and they were flocking. So flocking is they were going in flocks. A flock is like a group of birds. That's what a flock is. But when you say flocking to, that means going to. So they were going to 2D screening. Screening is just when the movie plays. That's called a screening. So they were going to see 2D movies instead to save money and avoid a headache. So, you know, when you have a 3D movie, you have to wear those glasses, and sometimes it's weird, and people sometimes get headaches, and they don't actually like 3D movies. But the 3D was kind of like, you know the word gimmick? Have you heard of that word? Gimmick? Nihan? No? Aisha? No? A gimmick is something like something interesting or new to try to get you to buy something or to do something. So some companies use gimmicks sometime to try to get you to buy their product. So 3D is kind of like a gimmick in the sense that it's not necessary. You don't have to have a movie in 3D. It's like, but it's a gimmick. You get to go, and kids like it. You get to put on the glasses, and you know things come and look like they're going to hit you, and they're coming out of the screen. So, did that help, Nihan? Help you understand those two sentences?
Yes.
So basically, I'm just rewording it. So touted means that they're saying something. So if I'm touting you as the best accountant in all of Turkey, that means I'm telling everybody that you're the best, right? Okay, so that's the word to tout. Panacea just means that it's going to solve all the problems. And the blues means your problems. To have the blues is to have problems and to be sad about it. Okay? So basically, for a while there, 3D was getting more people in the movie theaters, but now it's not. All right? Here's another one that's going to have some words in there. To keep the gravy train rolling, Hollywood is relying more and more on sequels and superheroes. They're the only sure thing these days, which is why every movie is starting to feel so much the same. No one wants to take a big risk. Okay, Vivian, if your microphone was working, I'd have you read it. But since we can't hear you, I'm going to go back to Aisha. Aisha?
Yes. To keep the gravy train rolling, Hollywood is relying more and more on sequels and superheroes. They're the only sure thing these days, which is why every movie is starting to feel so much the same. No one wants to take a big risk.
Yeah. So this here, you guys, this might be new for you. The gravy train. That refers to money. So the gravy train is the term that means it's the place where the money is, where the food is, where all the good stuff is. And so this part here, this first part of this sentence says to keep the gravy train rolling, or it means to keep the money coming in. Okay, so to keep money coming in to the movie theaters, Hollywood is relying. It means when you rely on something or somebody, it means you're counting on them. You have to use them, so they're relying more and more on these types of movies. The sequels, so you have Star Wars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you have lots of movies that have 1, 2, or 3 movies, like Harry Potter. Had 7 or 8 movies or something like that. And superheroes. So a lot of the action movies, the Iron Man movies, all of those. We know that people like to go to those movies, and that's called a sure thing. So if you make something that's a sure thing, it's for sure going to be successful. So that is why they're all starting to feel so much the same. That's why not only are some of them, like you said, Nihan, worthless. A lot of movies are just kind of dumb, but a lot of times they just seem like the same thing being repeated over and over again. And that the one reason why is if you have a hit, then you're like, okay, well, we know that made some money. Let's make another one like that. So this is a problem for moviegoers because we're not being able to see anything new and interesting and different because nobody wants to take a big risk. So talking about money here, because when you make a big
Yes,
financial investment, yeah. So the risk is making something that won't make money, right? Yeah.
Have you seen Iron Man 3rd?
No, I haven't. Did you?
Yes, I have.
And did you like it?
They spent lots of money, and
I didn't see any of the Iron Man movies, but in some of my classes we talked about it with some guys, and they said that they liked. I think they liked the second one the best. I can't remember now.
yes, lots of Iron Man lovers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But in IMDb, they rated the movie 8 point something, and it's a really, really high rating. And
Yeah.
I just think, yes, I haven't seen any Iron Man movie. I have to see it, and I saw it. Yes. If you don't see it yet, you never lose anything. You just gain your time. You could sleep instead of seeing that movie. But in that paragraph, yeah, they don't want to take any big risk because that movies reflects all teenagers or let's say teenagers, yes.
And young guys probably.
No, I've seen lots of adults loved that kind of movies, but let's just we say teenagers.
Okay.
You will be surprised how many adults love that kind of movies.
Are you confessing something?
Not true. It's not my cup of tea.
Not your cup of tea. Okay, good. All right. Well, my sons who are 13 and 15 did see the movie and they liked them, but they like all those movies, so we can't really call them discriminating audience members, moviegoers. They like anything where the stuff gets blown up, you know. Okay. All right. So let's see. Except Warner Brothers. All right. The studio, which has a steady revenue stream thanks to hit franchises like Harry Potter, Batman, and Superman, took a big risk this summer with Pacific Rim. So that's another movie I didn't see. The original story about a future where robots fight giant Godzilla-like beasts wasn't a success. The film earned enough overseas to bring its global total to $407 million, but it will be hard for the studio to turn a profit on the very expensive film. Okay, so let's remember. So basically we left with no one wants to take a big risk, so then it went into this except Warner's Brothers, and they were doing really well, but they took a risk on this movie here, Pacific Rim, which did not turn out to be very profitable. So who's next? Nihan, is it your turn? Or did you just go? No. Okay, it was Aisha. Okay, go ahead, Nihan.
Except Warner Bros.
Brothers. That's abbreviation for brothers.
Really?
Warner Brothers. Yeah.
We always say Warner Bros.
Yeah, Warner Bros.
And I haven't think about brothers.
No, that's
no way.
Yeah.
Okay, brothers.
All right.
Except Warner Brothers.
Yep.
The studio, which has a steady revenue stream.
Mm-hmm.
Revenue stream, thanks to hit franchises like Harry Potter, Batman, and Superman, took a big risk this summer with Pacific Rim. The original story about a future where robots fight giant Godzilla-like beasts wasn't a success. The film earned enough overseas to bring its global total to $407 $407 million, but it will be hard for the studio to turn a profit on the very expensive film.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so they have a steady revenue stream. So that just means that's good for business. If you have a steady, it means it's coming in, it's not fluctuating, it's steady. It's coming every month. And its revenue is the money we're talking about, and the stream, it just gives you like the flow of money. So it's coming in, and that's thanks to franchises. So usually we don't think of movies as being franchises. Franchises are things like, and I don't know if you have them where
Coffee
you guys
shops,
live.
something.
Yeah, or like McDonald's, or like pizza places. I won't write them out. Like Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, fast food restaurants.
Starbucks, something.
Yeah, exactly. So, but Harry Potter, Batman, and Superman, they are, I guess, businesses now. Like the Harry Potter movies. That was like a whole business venture, separate from like the books and all the other merchandise. But so those definitely brought in enough money to keep things going. But they did take this risk on this one. It was original, so that means it wasn't made before. It was a new, original, unique story that they thought people would like, I guess, where robots are fighting Godzilla-like beasts. Okay, that doesn't seem like a success to me, but it did earn $407 million, so that's not like nothing, right? It earned, that means it brought in, and overseas, that's just another way to say like abroad or internationally, so outside of the U.S. So it has a global total, so all the money that it made. It's quite a lot of money, but it was a big risk because it was very expensive. So I guess they thought, sometimes people think the more exciting the movie is with more special effects and CGI stuff nowadays, people are going to go for it, but if it's too expensive, it's really not going to work to make a profit. So to turn a profit just means to make a profit. All right.
Oh, Lisa,
Yeah.
that movie Pacific Rim
Yes.
earn a profit?
It says it will be hard for the studio to turn a profit. Yeah, I don't know how much it costs. And we can look it up real quick.
Okay,
But
I have to look it up.
Yeah, because of course, after that, let's see.
$407 million, huge money.
That's a lot of money, right?
And I haven't heard about this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it says $190 million was the budget, so it made money. It looks like it made money. It's hard to know.
Money?
Well, it said the budget was $190 million over here. Is it on the screen share? Yeah. It's hard to see, maybe. Oops, sorry.
You have to use IMDb.
Oh, is that where you went?
Yeah, Wikipedia is not in this issue.
Yeah. I mean, $400 million sounds like a lot of money to me. I mean,
Do you? Oh my God. It's nothing for me. Right, Archu?
Yeah.
$400 million? Nothing.
Nah. We can give you that this evening.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You have to a little bit scroll down. The budget will be... yes.
Oh, really? You know how to work this. Oh, here we go. So the budget was $190 million. And then in the because like in the United States, it only made $37 million, or
budget
was 100.
Budget is 100.
90.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I haven't heard about this movie, and it gains lots of money.
Yeah. It didn't make very much money in the beginning. I think that's what they're, because $37 million, that's not very much. But now globally, so in America, it wasn't a hit, basically.
More than 300 million?
No. Right here's only $37 million. But globally, worldwide, yes, it was more popular around the world than it was just in the United States. Because in the United States, it just earned 100 million. I mean, yeah, 100 million. Anyways, seems like not too bad.
Nothing, Arthur. Right? It was nothing.
Yeah. My next movie's gonna cost $250 million. I'm gonna have Sandra Bullock and George Clooney and Leonardo DiCaprio and Meryl Streep. Okay, she's gonna be the grandma.
Oh,
okay. All right. It looks like they're going to have better luck with Gravity, another risky story not based on a comic book or anything that came before it. The Sandra Bullock George Clooney movie opens this weekend, and Exhibitor Relations expects the film will top the box office with $39 million. Okay, Aisha.
It looks like they are going to have better luck with Gravity, another risky story not based on a comic book or anything that came before it. The Sandra Bullock George Clooney movie opens this weekend, and Exhibitor Relations expects the film will top the box office with $39 million.
Okay, so here I looked it up. Now that we know how to navigate this page, thanks to Nihan. All right, down here with the box office budget. So it's estimated that they spent $80 million making this movie. So that's a lot less than the other one.
In a one week, nearly 40 million. That's huge.
Yeah, that would be huge. So I think you guys understand most of this probably. So it's going to be the movie opening this weekend. Exhibitor Relations, that's some kind of a job title, somebody's job title. Who's exhibiting, who's showing the movie. So they're trying to get this movie distributed throughout the United States in the movie theaters. And so they're hoping that it will hit $39 million. And they're talking about this weekend, just in one weekend, yeah. So that would be a lot. So a lot of that money is going to come from 3D screenings. According to Fandango, 91% of ticket pre-sales have been for 3D showings. So, again, we talked about that earlier, 3D being popular. People are also flocking to, there's that verb again, to IMAX. This is just the, if you want to look it up on the, stock market. So IMAX screenings where tickets go for as much as $20 a pop. Okay, Nihan, you read that part right there?
Are you sure? Lots of numbers.
I will hold your hand and help you out. Don't be afraid of the numbers.
It's my biggest problem in English. Okay, I will try.
Okay.
Don't laugh at me.
You don't have to read the IMAX stocks are up 4%. Okay,
Yes,
we'll just take that out.
I realize it, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of money is going to come from 3D screenings. According to Fandango, 91% of ticket pre-sales have been for 3D showings. People are also flocking to IMAX screenings where tickets go for as much as $20 a pop.
A pop, yeah. That was good. All right, 3D. So they're gonna go see the 3D showings. That's a showing is when they show the movie. So a showing is the one time. Showings is like how many times they're gonna show it throughout the weekend, for example.
3D is the 3D definition D.
3D is three-dimensional, you know?
Dimensional. Okay.
Yeah.
Dimensional.
Yeah.
With a specific
with the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
you wear special glasses that stuff comes out. It looks like it's coming out at you. Have you seen 3D movies? Nihan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
Asia?
I
Oh,
saw
okay.
some 3D, but I was just thinking about 3D. D is definition, maybe something dimensional.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I
Three-dimensional,
got it.
yeah. So in 3 dimensions. Yeah, and of course these IMAX screenings, these are the really huge, big screens. You know, they're really, really tall screens. And so those are like twice as much to go. So it's $20 a pop. Whenever you say a pop, it means each ticket. So $20 per person or per ticket. So they're quite expensive.
How could
That's,
we use
yes.
a pop instead? Yeah,
Um, Yeah, you can. Whenever you're talking about what something costs, and you're talking about it per person, per ticket, you could say, like if you're going to a soccer game or something, and you want to tell somebody, you know, how much are the tickets? You could say they're, you know, $50 a pop. You could say it like that.
kind of slang or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Then. Yeah. But it could be about any kind of price. Like, you know, how much did you pay for those pizzas? Oh, they were $15 a pop. So it means each one. Yeah, a pop.
Okay.
That's because, by all accounts, the movie is something that needs to be experienced on the big screen. The story follows two astronauts who are set adrift in space after a horrific accident. The movie scores an incredible 98 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, and critics have been talking up the fact that watching the movie is as close as most of us will get to experiencing what it is like to be in outer space. Okay, Isha.
That's because, by all accounts, the movie is something that needs to be experienced on the big screen. The story follows two astronauts who are set adrift in space after a horrific accident. The movie scores an incredible 980?
98?
98 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, and critics have been talking up the fact that watching the movie is as close as most of us will get to experiencing what it's like to be in outer space.
Yeah, what it is like. Okay, so that's because, by all accounts, so when you say this phrase, it's a phrase, you say it all together, by all accounts, it just means like what everybody's saying. What everybody has said about this movie so far is that you have to experience it on a big screen. So some movies you definitely want to see in a theater because it's really nice to see them on a big screen. It's more intense that way, maybe. And some movies, you know, whatever, you can see them on your DVD player.
Their
You know.
intention to be seen a big
iPad.
screen.
Yes. Yes. And so then it tells you a little bit about what the story is. So the story follows, so it tells you the story about these two astronauts that are set adrift. So in the trailer, Aisha, you said you saw the trailer. It's like she's outside of the spacecraft, and then something happens, an accident happens. Yeah, and then she's like set loose. So she's like flying around out in space. Mm-hmm. So that's what that means. To be set adrift means you're like out.
Gravity
loose.
Or something?
Yeah, she's loose out in space. Whoops. Loose out in space. Yeah, she has. Well, you know, out in space, she doesn't have any gravity, and so she's attached. You know, she's attached inside to something, and when she goes outside, she's attached through some kind of, you know, not a rope, but some kind of thing, like a rope. And a high-tech rope or something, but there's an accident that happens, so she gets like cut off or something. So it's a horrific. That's a terrible, horrible.
So we lose Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, Sandra Bullock. Yeah. So
she's lost in space. Something.
Yeah.
We will send her a
Google
map. All right, so they've been talking up, so that just means they've been talking a lot about something. The fact that watching it is, they say, as close as most of us will get to experiencing what it's like to be out there. So the way the movie is shot is kind of what makes it special, I guess. The camera angles and just the way that they filmed the movie makes you, you know, feel like you're there. Or, of course, you don't want to be there, but, you know. But,
come on.
You know. Yeah. So I don't know.
$80 million, I can do everything.
$80 million. Right. For $80 million, they could have just sent us, a bunch of us up in space, and we could have
Yes.
figured out what it's like.
We can do this class in Mars.
Yeah, that's right. Floating around. All right. Despite the raves, the movie is still a tough sell. Stars Bullock and Clooney spend most of their time in spacesuits, which hide their bodies and obscure their faces. The story is quite harrowing. I mean, how on earth do they live through this? And could keep many people at home. All right, Nihan.
Despite the raves, the movie is still a soft sell. Stars Bullock and Clooney spend most of their time in spacesuits, which hide their bodies and obscure their face. The story is quite harrowing. I mean, how on earth do they live through this and could keep many people at home?
At home, yeah. So the word, yeah, the word "despite" is often used at the beginning of a sentence, and it's just kind of telling you, like, even though. You could say the words "even though."
Oh,
yeah. So even though people are saying it's a great movie, it's still the rave is when people say they like it. Oh, it's a great movie. You're giving it a rave review. So people are raving about it, you could say, or they're giving it rave reviews. It's still going to be a tough sell. It's still going to be hard to convince people. A tough sell is like something that's hard to sell. It's difficult to convince people to buy it. Because you think of Sandra Bullock and you think of Clooney, and most people want to see their bodies doing stuff.
It's Clooney, don't hide him on a spacesuit.
Especially people like Nihan's mom and Clooney.
I don't care about Sandra Bullock's body, but yeah. My mommy wants to see the Clooney's body.
Yeah, right, exactly. So they're being hidden. So we don't even see their bodies. I don't think there's probably any sex in this movie. I don't know, but in space, I don't know.
What a boring.
And
in space, it will be difficult.
Yeah. Well, maybe they figured something out. I don't know. Okay. Obscuring their faces. So that's also another word that means hiding. So we can't really see their face, So it's also a kind of a scary. We can also say like hair-raising, hair-raising story, which means when you're watching it, you don't feel relaxed. You're probably stressing out because it's like so incredibly scary that they would be out there lost in space. So, and this is what she says in this parentheses here. I mean, how on earth do they live through this? And so just the fact that a lot of people might be like thinking it's too scary or it's too dramatic or too traumatic, they might not go. So they wouldn't be putting their butts in the seats, which is what they want.
Somebody has to give me one reason to go to this movie.
I know. Well, that's exactly right. It's a tough sell. So we'll see. But okay, the last little bit, and then we'll see whether or not we think we should go. But if the film is a hit, expect Hollywood to start creating more movies that are experiences as much as they are stories. So that's kind of the main thing that this author is trying to say is, this is a new way of making a movie, and if it works, then we'll probably have more movies like it because people will pay money for it. And I guess instead of just a story, it's trying to give you like an experience of being there. And whether or not they succeed in doing that, we don't know yet. But here is a picture from it. This is one of those reviews. Roger Ebert, this movie guy here, he does a lot of movie reviews. And so you could read this. We don't have time now because we're just about done. But that gives you more details about the movie and what it's like and what you might like about it and stuff. And, of course, also, like Aisha had already seen, you could also just go watch the trailer, which is, I found one. I'm sure there are a few ones, but I never figured out how to share videos with you guys. But you can watch it yourself. And then the last thing I put on here also, if you guys are interested, I thought I would probably go listen to it, is National Public Radio, which in the United States, NPR, did an interview with Sandra Bullock. So you can listen to the story and read along here, and these are some of the highlights from the interview. So that might be interesting to listen to if you guys want to practice listening in English. She's going to be talking about what it was like making the movie and all that kind of stuff. So
I know we are out of time, but Lisa,
yes.
Why did you choose this movie?
I chose it because
why? I know you have a really good taste on movies.
I chose it as just something to read for English for the English class,
and because
also,
of Clooney.
Yeah, I'm George Clooney. I'm always interested in George Clooney.
Sorry.
Later.
I forgot about it. Yes, George Clooney. I understand it now. Okay.
Well, I also did like The Heat, and I think, Aisha, you should definitely go watch The Heat because that's funny. That's funny.
I will. Maybe on iTunes.
Yeah, maybe on iTunes. Ask Nihan off air because she has secrets on how she can see all kinds of things for free. She's a master at it. Yeah, that's great. And Nihan, if you ever have suggestions for things that we can talk about or movies you want to talk about, I'm happy to put it out there.
I will post it to your Facebook. Okay.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Some of the common tastes, not the really extreme ones, but some of the common tastes. Because when I join a class about a movie or a movie takes about something, I just realized that the teachers really has to provide some kind of suggestions, because I know for example, John Eric is a really good film expert or something. I know you watch not lots of movies, but you have a really good taste because you suggested some movies that was really great, and I watched all of them. You know.
Yeah.
About the girl with the what was it? Immolated, gently.
Female genital mutilation.
Yeah, and it was really good suggestions, and it shows that you have a really good taste on movies. But sometimes I think your schedule is really tight, and maybe some way you didn't remember the good movies. Yes,
Nihan, this movie might make $39 million this weekend. People are giving it 98%.
But Lisa, come on, without George Clooney's real body.
Just for Clooney.
Okay,
but without his body, please, come on.
Okay, his face.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to go see the movie now. Because, what if it's a great movie?
Yeah.
I will see this movie. I will have to see it because I'm really curious. I have to see George Clooney without anybody. I will go with my mommy.
Okay, yes, take your mom. It'll be like a present, like a gift to your mother.
Yes,
exactly. Okay, I gotta go. I think another teacher is, maybe it was Kenny, getting started. Okay, sorry. All right, you guys, thanks for coming to class. And next time, if you want to talk about Sinead, we could have talked about Sinead O'Connor and Miley, but please no.
I'm having an overdose. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa, for the class. Bye-bye, Archu.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, Vivian. Bye.
What is your opinion of George Clooney, Nihan?
Clooney, I could say I was watching a movie. Then my mother just came in my room and asked,
Yeah.
what's your favorite actor out of you, really? And I searched a little bit on Google, and she said, no, not that. He's short, he's fat, he's blah blah. And then when I pick up the George Clooney's photos,
Yeah.
she just said, and she's 63, by the way.
Yeah.
She just said, yes.
Oh, I love your mom.
Because I showed her DiCaprio or
Yeah.
left the previous class, and you joined Lisa's class.
Hi, everybody.
It's magic.
I
Yeah, it's magic.
But pardon me, but in the previous class, your cell phone was ringing or something.
It was on me. It was on.
Yeah, no.
I swear it was on me. My phone is so quiet today.
Hi, everybody. Hey, let me welcome everybody to this next hour.
Total silence. Okay.
Verbling English class. Aisha and Nihan are joining, continuing on the night of English learning. So welcome to them, and if anybody else wants to join us in this hour, we're going to be reading an article about the latest movie with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney called Gravity. And it's not a movie review. It's a little bit from like the business aspect of the movies, but we can also use that as a starting off place to talk about the movie or the actors, the actresses, and anything we feel like it. So, how are you guys doing? Nihan?
Okay.
Yeah?
Sorry, Lisa. But it was really interesting.
What?
We were in the same class with Arthur, and her cell phone was ringing.
Yeah.
I just left the class and say goodbye. Have a good night.
Yeah, I swear it was on my phone.
But when I saw your class, Lisa.
Yes.
And Lisa and Archu in the same class. Oh my gosh, I'm surprised.
So
she was really fast.
Yeah, it's magic.
Even her cell phone just still ringing.
Listen carefully. You will see that it was on my phone. I told you he's so quiet today.
Okay, Archie. Okay, yeah, I got you.
And I don't want to let Lisa wait for me, so I move quickly.
Or younger actors, and she didn't like all of them. And when it was really intimate, and yes, he is handsome.
Well, he's I could say, like, looking at this picture, I would say that he is very photogenic. It means he takes good pictures. Like, it's like some people, they may be handsome or pretty, but you never quite get a good picture of them. But just looking up these images, there's a lot of good pictures of him. He's easy to photograph.
Yeah.
And I watched lots of George Clooney's movie, and I know he's not. Yes, he's attractive, whatever. But
whatever.
Perfect, I know. But his photos, yes.
Yeah.
His photos makes my mommy yes.
Yeah. Well, who would? Yeah, you guys are becoming expert navigators through the Verbling, Google Hangouts, YouTube, everything. You guys come on quick.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, Nihan, have you seen the movie Gravity yet on a torrent or something? Nihan?
I don't know, Lisa, because I watch lots of movies. Sometimes I was really confused about the plot, about the actresses, but I think it's a new movie, 2013 maybe.
Yeah, it's a brand new movie. I don't even know if it's come out yet. Have you heard about it, Aisha?
Yes, but I didn't see the movie yet, but I saw the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It looked like a good movie.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's George Clooney, so.
Exactly. George.
Gravity is kind of.
What? What is he kind of?